Very common question that I get asked often is how long should I spend on a sculpt? Some people are a perfectionist. Some people say, hey man, I just don't know when to stop. What is the level where I just need to stop? Knowing the answer to this can save you hours and potentially months and even years of your time if you're practicing the wrong way. This is literally you shooting at your own feet. So, how long should you spend on your sculpt? You should simply replace this question with what is the purpose of your sculpt? All right. So instead of saying how long should I spend, decide what is the purpose. Okay. And the two main purposes that come to my mind is your sculpting is either you are practicing something or you are making something for your portfolio. All right. And let's just look at the practice first. So when you're practicing, you need to define your why. Okay. Also for portfolio, you need to define your why. So let's say you're practicing and you suck at the basics. All right. You suck at blocking out the face. Okay. And if you watch my videos, then I'm sure you probably have a habit tracker. You probably have a time slot where you sculpt every day. If you don't, go check out the productivity videos that I have on this channel. But yeah, I do expect that you have some sort of idea in your mind that, yeah, you practice these many hours every day. If you do not, bro, get yourself a schedule first and then watch this video. Okay, so I'm assuming you have maybe an hour to practice every day. Let's say you just started out and you suck at the basics. Okay, you suck at level 1. You cannot block out the features of the face. By the way, there is also a free head sculpting course on the channel. Let me load it up for you, just in case you do not know about this. Yeah, let me quickly load it up. There's a free head sculpting course that is going to teach you exactly all of this step by step. And yeah, it is for beginners. Okay, so if you go to the channel, you're going to find this video right here. Yeah, this is a complete step-by-step course. All right. So yeah, let's say you suck at the basics. Now, in your 1 hour, you just want to practice this. Okay, you do not want to go and make the nose, then make the ears and the nose features, and then make the complete face. No. You don't want to do that. You're wasting your time. All right. Just imagine this. Imagine that you are preparing for a biology exam. All right. And you just do not know how the heart functions. All right. You're stuck at the heart. Now imagine that every time you try to complete some questions from the heart and you cannot get it right, you go back to page number 1 and read again till the heart. Does that make any sense to you? No, right? Then why do you practice the same thing in sculpting? You know you suck at the base. Why are you proceeding forwards? You know you suck at the heart. You don't know the function of the heart. Why would you go down to the veins of the heart and everything else, bro? You don't want to do that. You're not going to go to the next chapter. You suck at the function of the heart. So yeah, you suck at level 1 maybe. Just practice level 1. Maybe you suck at level 2. All right. Don't go back and make a blocker of the face. You know this. You know how to do this. Just practice this area specifically. All right. Now you know how to get the features and you know how to block out the features. You're just struggling with the ear. Would you go back again and watch the entire course again? No. All you have to do is just practice the ear specifically. Okay. This is gonna exponentially grow the rate at which you're learning stuff. Okay. Because you're only focusing on what is going to move the needle for you. Okay. Let's say you can sculpt this. Okay, you can sculpt this face right here, but you still suck at the ears. Now, the only thing that is going to improve is focusing at the ear, sculpting the ear. If you're sculpting the eyes, you're not sculpting the ear. If you're sculpting the nose, you're not sculpting the ear. If you're sculpting the mouth, you're not sculpting the ear, bro. If you're texturing this, you're not sculpting the ear. You have to sculpt the ear. That is it. Okay? And that is how long you should practice. As long as you can practice the ear, you get it done, you know you understand this, then of course move forward. That is it. That is it for your practice for that day. Okay. And another thing, let's say you're practicing a bit of likeness. Okay. How long should you practice likeness? Just up till here, just till the base. Because likeness does not require you to sculpt pores. Okay. If your basics suck, then no matter how many pores you add, it's not going to fix your sculpt. All right. You need to know that if you put flowers on shit, it is still shit, bro. No matter how much you decorate poop, it is still poop. Even if you gold plate poop, it is still gonna be gold plated poop. Just like if you make a shitty Thanos, okay? Let's replace Thanos with Anos, okay? You make Anos, and then you make pores. It is still an Anos with very good pores. It is not Thanos. The same thing goes here, bro. If you, I was practicing likeness. I wanted to make the Joker, the Joaquin Phoenix Joker. I don't need to spend time on making the pores. I don't need to spend time lighting this, rendering this, figuring out the perfect skin material. I don't need to do that unless it is my definition of why. If my definition of why was I need to practice the pores, then of course I will go into pores. If my definition of why for this practice was just to get the likeness, then this is enough. This is enough. You need to figure out what is your why. Why are you practicing? You don't want to go into this mindlessly, okay? You want to figure out why. What is the area that I know I lack in and I want to improve? For me, it was likeness. I wanted to practice likeness. So that is the only thing I practiced. It doesn't matter how many poses I make this. It's just going to take more time. I did this in about 45 minutes or an hour. Okay, the real-time video of this is also on the channel. I did this in about 45 minutes or an hour. If I went into pores, if I went into lighting, if I went into rendering, this would have easily taken me 5, 6, 7 hours even. So it doesn't really matter. You need to define your why. And over here you can see as well, this is the mistake that I was making. I had an hour a day to practice every day. And over here, all I had to do was to practice likeness. But the mistake I made, I was lighting this, I was rendering this, and this is all wasted effort, wasted time. I did not want to practice lighting. I know I'm good at lighting. Then why am I lighting here? The only thing I sucked at over here was sculpting. And that is the only thing that I needed to do. So yeah, you can see this is an older one. I did this later on, and yeah, you can see. I was lighting this, rendering this, and I realized, bro, stop being a Jerry. You're being a Jerry, bro. You're wasting your time. So just practice likeness. That is it. Okay. And yeah, the next thing, a very important point here. Don't count the time, make the time count. This is what I tell everyone inside my school, everyone inside my community. They're like, how long should I practice? It's not about how long you practice. It's about whether you're making that practice count or not. Okay. Let's say you practice 1 hour every day. You have an hour to practice every day. Okay. Then your best practice could be to practice deliberately. If you're just making a sculpt after sculpt, sculpt after sculpt, sculpt after sculpt without taking a moment to pause and think what you were doing wrong, you are insane. Not by my definition, but by the definition of one of the smartest people alive. Oh, not alive, he's dead now, but Albert Einstein. He said insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over and over again, expecting a different outcome. So it's not about counting the time. It's about making that time count. When you sit down to practice, are you focusing on the areas which you lack, or are you fooling yourself thinking that you are being productive? Productivity is not sitting down and practicing. You're not being productive if you sit down and practice. You are only productive if that practice session makes you a better person than what you were yesterday. And unless you are doing that, you are wasting your time. Okay? So don't count the time, make the time count. The second reason that I think use sculpting is probably going to be because of portfolio. All right. And for portfolio, of course, you want this to be presentable. Of course, you want this to be detailed because this is the work that you can showcase to other ones to see, hey, this is what I can do. So yeah, this is going to take long. I spent 2-3 hours on this Kratos sculpt. I'm not sure if it was 2 or 3 because one session of this I did live stream on the channel, and the real-time video that I have of this is about 2 hours long. So yeah, I'm not sure. Let's just count 3. Okay, I was able to sculpt this in 3 hours. This one is one of my most detailed sculpts. You see, I lighted this, rendered this. This took me about 6.5 hours. And if this was just a practice session, I would have only practiced it up till here. I wouldn't have added the skin. I didn't add skin definition here. But yeah, I wouldn't have added this smoke. I wouldn't have rendered this. I wouldn't have lit this. It would have been no point. Okay. Yeah, I would have just practiced it up till here. If I was just practicing the faces, I wouldn't even sculpt the body. If I was practicing just the body, I wouldn't even make the face. The face would have been something that was blurred out over here. Yeah, the rest of it would have been the body. That is it. This one was a challenge by Aryan, and yeah, I wanted to give it my all. So I sculpted this for 4.5 hours, and this was the result that I got. This is another one that I really wanted to sculpt. So this Omni-Man sculpt took me 4 hours. It doesn't matter how much hours I've spent into this, okay? because this is for portfolio. You want it to be the best thing that you can sculpt at your level. And yeah, this doesn't really matter unless you are good at this. So what I practice is I practice seasons. Okay, there's a season of me practicing, and then there's a season of me creating. So in the practicing season, I only practice. I only practice. I make my time count. And in my creating season, I just spend time creating and putting my learnings to the test. Okay, right now at my practicing season. I'm just practicing stylized sculpts. I'm not creating anything. Yeah, I won't be creating anything. Once I'm confident that I fixed the things that I wanted to fix, I improved into the things that I wanted to improve, then I will get into the creating zone of stylized sculpts. So yeah, that is it. If you're wondering how long you should spend on your sculpt, just ask yourself these 3 questions, and I hope this video has helped you. If it has, just subscribe, share it with a friend, do the algorithm stuff. And if you're a bit serious, all right, you can join my sculpting school over here, and everyone inside is a sculptor. All we talk about is sculpting. We have weekly calls every week where we discuss each other, our problems. We just had these calls every week where you can present your work, get feedback. If you're struggling with productivity, anything, we talk about it here. I have a ton of sculpting courses which you can learn from. I also have real-time videos from the channel, the things that I post there. Yeah, this is a good place to be if you are a bit more serious about sculpting. So yeah, goodbye. Take care.